dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Emily Bennett. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for a portion of the mountains this evening. Meteorologist Evan Hatter is here with the latest. Evan?
That's right, Emily. Severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect for just a few of our counties until 11 o'clock tonight. Let's take the map here real quick. Parts of northeastern Kentucky, let's say Boyd, Carter, and Lawrence County, and then Mingo, Wayne, and Logan counties in West Virginia. And that lines up well with the area under the slight risk of severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. The 2 out of 5 up there in the northeast Kentucky, and then the 1 out of 5 for the rest of us. Looking at the radar right now, everything moving off to the north and east. We're seeing just a smattering of showers and storms, nothing too bad out there right now. Well, we were looking at Letcher County earlier, but you want to keep that WYMT weather app handy as we go through the evening. With the scattered storms continuing, eventually we'll start to wind those down, fall back into the lower 70s, and eventually into the upper 60s as we head towards daybreak. I'll have a little bit more on the storms tonight. Emily?
Thank you, Evan. Governor Andy Beshear provided updated COVID-19 numbers this afternoon. The governor announced 572 new cases of COVID-19. There are now 30,723 coronavirus cases in Kentucky. The positivity rate currently stands at 5.22%. There were 5 new deaths today. The death toll stands at 740. At least 8,135 Kentuckians have recovered from the virus, and 638,772 coronavirus tests have been performed here in Kentucky. For more information on COVID-19, go to our website, WYMT.com. 13 employees at Logan Regional Medical Center in West Virginia have tested positive for COVID-19. A news release says that the outbreak is among members of their team, along with a small number of patients within a single unit of the hospital. The hospital is working with the county health department and following guidance from the CDC. Contact tracing has been done and they are following the proper protocols. The news release asks that patients not delay their own health care needs as a result of the outbreak. The 2020 election is now only months away. Senator Mitch McConnell is up for re-election this November. Today, his opponent, Amy McGrath, was in Lexington, kicking off a statewide voter campaign initiative. Grace Feinerman was there and brings us the details.
With less than 100 days until Election Day, many campaigns are revving up.
Your voice is so important.
Democratic Senate candidate Amy McGrath started the morning at the Fayette Courthouse in Lexington. She's focusing on helping previously disenfranchised voters get registered.
I mean, this is so important. We're in the middle of a pandemic right now. A lot of people don't know how they can vote. And gosh, this is probably the most important election of our lifetime.
McGrath says many Americans with nonviolent drug offenses have been disenfranchised in the past, including former UK basketball player Rex Chapman.
When you're in rehab, like a lot of these guys out here today, man, it's lonely. You're at the bottom. Seeing these ladies come out here today and get a piece of their life back is empowering.
McGrath is calling for no excuse absentee balloting. She says nobody should have to put their lives on the line to vote.
My 79-year-old mom should not have to put her life on the line to vote in this election. This is America. I voted by mail for 24 years in the military. It works just fine.
Lexington isn't the only stop. McGrath is also visiting Louisville, Hopkinsville, and Owensboro. Right now, it's not entirely clear what Kentucky's general election will look like. Options could include mail-in ballots, early voting, and more polling locations compared to what we saw in June. In Lexington, Grace Feinerman, WKYT.
The voter registration deadline is just a little more than 2 months away, October 5th. To check your registration status, you can go online to govoteky.com. The daughter of a Lincoln County woman killed in a gas pipeline explosion is opening up 1 year later. On August 1st, 2019, a gas pipeline exploded, killing Lisa Derringer, destroying her home, leaving nothing behind but the burned garage and a car. A year later, and dozens of family members, friends, and even a few survivors of the explosion fill the now deserted spot. Balloons picking out specifically for Derringer, releasing into the sky with messages of love and grief.
If you've seen it before, there wasn't a blade of grass taller than the rest. Immaculate, stayed very beautiful. And to see that now, that's kind of hard, you know, because I know she was pretty particular. That part's pretty hard.
A new lawsuit has been filed on behalf of 80 others affected by the explosion. They are suing Enbridge and their parent company, who owns and operates the pipeline. The COVID-19 pandemic has canceled many events this summer, but one county fair in Kentucky made a controversial decision to move on as planned. Faith King has more on what went into the decision.
The Oldham County Fair Board has decided to continue this year's fair despite being in a pandemic.
The one thing that we all understand is, even though in these conditions we're living in, we have to move forward. We can't live in fear. We've got to move forward.
Steve Heggie with the Oldham County Fairgrounds says the board has taken the governor's venues and event spaces requirements along with other health suggestions and enhanced those to build their own.
When you come into the fair, before you can enter, we're going to take your temperature. We're going to get some information from you in case we do have a problem. We'll also, anyone coming in the fair has to have a face mask.
Heggie says that's where it starts. Throughout the fairgrounds, there will be hand sanitizer stations. Rides will be cleaned after use and social distancing will be a priority.
If you've been to any type of amusement park or any venue, you generally have to do this thing like a mousetrap going through to get on the rides. They've eliminated that. It's straight on and off.
But the county's health department and county judge executive doesn't believe these precautions are enough. In a written response to the fair's safety requirements, they said they believe it will be very difficult to achieve full cooperation from all fair participants. But Heggie feels with 22 acres of space, the plan will protect the majority.
The number people we can have there is 26,000. We've taken, that's 50% of our capacity. We've knocked it down to 25%. It's 13,000 people is the max we can have on there at one time.
A Laurel County man was charged with a DUI following a crash along Kentucky 30 Thursday morning. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office say a Chevrolet was headed southbound when it swerved onto the northbound lane before hitting a GMC pulling a trailer, which was knocked off its double axles in the crash. No one was injured in the collision. 54-year-old Ronnie Hoskins, the driver of the Chevrolet, was determined to be under the influence and was reportedly swerving all over the road, speeding and talking on a cell phone when the crash happened. Deputies also say they found rolling papers and a crushed pill on Hoskins. Hoskins is being held at the Laurel County Detention Center. A woman has died after a collision along US 25 near the intersection of Ferriston Road early this morning. A Facebook post from the Laurel County Sheriff's Office says 56-year-old Laura Frederick was crossing the road when she walked in front of a southbound pickup truck. Frederick was rushed to St. Joseph Hospital, London, where she was pronounced dead. The driver of the pickup was uninjured in the crash. No charges have been filed. The Kentucky State Police say they are investigating an officer-involved shooting that occurred in McCreary County yesterday morning. They say just after 10:30, a KSP trooper attempted to arrest 35-year-old Christopher A. Phillips, who was wanted on felony charges. They say Phillips shot at the trooper, at which time shots were exchanged by police. Both Phillips and the trooper were uninjured in the shooting. Phillips was sent to the McCreary County Detention Center and is charged with attempted murder of a police officer and resisting arrest. Now this evening in Lynch, the Clean and Crazy Ride-In is underway. The NA Clean and Crazy Support Group and the Backroads of Appalachia is hosting a 5K to support those in recovery or addiction. Chastity Souter is hosting the 5K, and she wanted to bring hope to Appalachia. Souter says she is clean and sober for 19 months and wants to show others there is a way out of addiction.
This means to me gratitude. It makes me very humble to be able to reach out to other people in recovery and to be a light to other people, to show them, you know, that I can have fun in sobriety and they can too. I woke up this morning and I just wanted to cry because I was very grateful for everything that God is allowing me to have in my life.
WYMT's Dakota Makris will have more on the 5K and what it means to those attending tonight at 11. Restaurant capacity may be limited for now, but Corbin is being creative with its dining options. The city and this Department of Tourism announcing that an area of 3rd Street will temporarily provide relief to restaurants affected by Governor Beshear's recent orders. Corbin Mayor Susie Rasmus says that while the situation is not ideal, it feels good to be able to provide some relief during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We know it's been really rough on our restaurants since early spring, so we felt that we needed to move quickly to make something happen for them and give them the opportunity to expand their occupancy. You know, I mean, we threw this up pretty quickly, but you know, they recognize that it's the effort that we've made to help them.
Rasmus also says that this will be the new norm for the time being until restrictions are lifted. Now, while Corbin is making space for its restaurants, a new restaurant has been added to the roster in Elkhorn City, but it comes with some old ties to the community. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more.
The pandemic has closed a lot of doors.
It has taken a toll on a whole lot of businesses, and I just hope that they can survive.
But for Elkhorn City business owner Crystal Potter, a new door just opened.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. I have to say I'm very blessed, and I'm so thankful.
The former owner of Gold Ring Diner closed the doors on the 20-year community staple, bringing her staff and food to a new place she has made her own, Ducker's Barn and Grill.
People ask a lot of questions about what Ducker's means. April 25th of 2019, my brother Donald Lee Belcher, he got killed in a tragic accident, and his nickname was Duck.
So she used his nickname to follow her passion.
Doing what I love and putting my brother's name in it, you know, he loved to feed people. I like to feed people. You know, couldn't stand for somebody to go hungry, so therefore, hey, I can make that happen.
As for the rest of the name,
I have thoughts of it being, you know, serving alcohol barn. So if you notice, it's B-A-R-N, but the N is falling off the barn. So just a little fun thing there. And then people like to talk about it. So, you know, I think, hey, if they're talking about it, come and see it, come and eat.
She says it is all about that hometown feel and cooking that Gold Ring has always provided.
You know, that's what I wanted. I wanted you to feel comfortable when you come in here and now like you're at home.
But with some brighter colors. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Potter says in a few months, Ducker's will likely be the first restaurant in Elkhorn to serve alcohol since the city went wet. Coming up on Mountain News Weekend Edition, zoos and aquariums are struggling to stay in business during the pandemic. Why some people want to get Congress involved.
And the storm chances continue tonight, but I think there's a better ending to your weekend for tomorrow. I'll have all the details coming up in just a minute.